Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today we're going to talk about Mandela. Is it a mental illness? Let's do some comparisons to religion, science, and theories. Let's get me in the picture. And let me see where the chat is. Okay. There's been some things going around about this poor lady who has lost her children over the Mandela effect, or talking to people about the Mandela effect. Should we silence ourselves because we have been affected? Well, this is my thoughts and opinions on this. There are households that bring their children up in very strict religious upbringings. Do their children get taken from them? No, they don't. So what would be the difference of having an observation of what the world is versus somebody bringing up their children with a strict religious background? A lot of the things that are going on with us have to do with science, with observation, excuse me, and with what is going on around us, which to me would be more like science, where we're experimenting, testing, we're going through something that, that really none of us know the answers to yet. And as we're experiencing it and sharing it with one another, we're gleaning and growing. Should we be afraid to share our experiences with one another? Is this something that we should be concerned with? I don't think so. But then again, if I have a religious upbringing, am I going to go beat down my neighbor's door and force them into my way of thinking? So everything, we have the logic side of our mind and we have the creative side of our mind. And we also have sovereignty, respect, and free will. I wouldn't want somebody beating my door down telling me I'm going to hell if I don't believe the way that they do, or if they came at me in a combative way. We need to always weigh out both sides of the argument before we come to any kind of a conclusion. And I haven't live streamed in forever. I'm actually a little bit nervous, and we're in the process. My husband's building the studio, so that's why we're a little late. He had to push everything out of the way and stuff so I could come on and do this with you guys today. Plus, I've missed talking to everybody. So, and I haven't, I've done premieres, but I don't know if people know that I'm actually live. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that? I know that there's a mental illness for just about everything and anything. I mean, if you think a certain way, they can come up with, you're DID or OCD or narcissistic, borderline personality disorder, okay? But the same thing goes for all of the laws that are on our books. Spitting on this sidewalk can get you put in jail. Some of the law, if they really wanted to come after you, they can find something to come after you. But in reality, we don't impose our will on other people. People, are sovereign and can make their own decisions, and either they're affected or they're not. I try to put my feet in somebody else's shoes, and let's give an example. Let's say when I first woke up, one of the first things that I wanted to do, let me get this out of the way. Hi Jane, how are you? Hi Mike Smith, how are you? I don't mind talking about everything with anyone, but if they tell me they're not interested, I won't talk to them. That's right, because you're not going to impose your will and force them to think like you do, because it's a narrow path that we're all on, and we all have the right to make up our mind and our choices. When it comes to our children that are, under our roof, and here's where, the conundrum comes in, is there are a lot of religions that are very strict, but that's considered okay. It's okay to have a very strict religious upbringing, but if you've been affected and it is something that is shared within your family, that should not be any reason for, the state to come in and take your children. So I don't know if there's more to the story. Excuse me, I'm all choked up. I don't know if there's more to this story, but there's a lot. I'm not exactly a young woman. I've done several things, and my husband and I are foster parents. We had a child stay with us, so she was with us 6 years, I think, somewhere around 6 years. And they don't just take the children from the home. It has to be a pretty serious situation. Child is in danger, like mortal danger or neglect, or something else is going on there. A belief structure would not constitute taking the children away. The one that we got, I can talk about. I'm not going to use her name, but I can give you some examples of how what determined her being removed from the home. And it had to do with her age and sexual abuse. So when there was findings on that, she was taken from the home. But it took a while before they had the findings in order to remove her, and then we took her in. So she was definitely in harm's way. So, if they come in and there's an empty refrigerator, not clothed, not bathed, the other things go on there. So my point is what I want to talk to you guys about is I don't want fear striking through our community that we're afraid to talk about these very things that are going on with us, because they're very real and we should be able to talk to one another about them. Do we want to shove them down each other's throats? No. If somebody's not affected or not seeing things that I'm seeing, I'm not going to force them to see what I'm seeing. It doesn't work that way. Like this tree that I've got here. It's going through all its seasons, but throughout all of the seasons, people are waking up. No matter what season this tree is in, people are waking up in their time, in their season. So when the right time comes, they will come along and they will seek you out. Let's see. Oh, we got Dead GPK. We got Renee. We got the Kryptonian. Hello, everybody. Long time no live stream from me. Seriously, I'm getting a studio is being built for me. If you're hearing a little echo, it's because I'm sitting in the middle of, there's nothing around me right now. So I apologize if you're getting a little bit of an echoey sound. But that will be taken care of because he's got the wall insulators, and, my husband is just so supportive, and so are all of you. And if it wasn't for us all together, this wouldn't be happening, and we're just an amazing community. So that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. Do you think of the Mandela effect and the ascension symptoms and the shifting and all of these anomalies going on with us? Do you think that's more science or religion, and or is it an anomaly of its own? And what would be the difference between it being science or a religion, which are both considered to be okay and suitable for somebody? You can have dad tinkering in the garage as the mad scientist, and your children are fine. Do you see where, there's some fear struck within here? I don't know if we quite have the complete story. And I know another one of the criteria is if the parental figure is a danger to themselves or a danger to others is another criteria of removing children from a home. So it has to be a pretty serious or drug use and things, which would then fall under a danger to themselves or a danger to others. Let me see what you guys have to say. Cool graphics. Yeah, I'm working on them. Your older sister just woke up. Right, nice. Used to be the only one, and you're not alone anymore. That's cool. Yeah, there's nothing worse than being alone in this, but we have each other. So that's one thing, Renee, that you always have had this community. But I'll tell you what, it sure is nice to have somebody in your life, like in your, not just your virtual life, but in your real life, going along with you on it. So, to sit there and talk about things with, and yeah, it makes a huge difference. And that's what I mean. People are waking up in their season, and it's just a matter of time. So, oh, she's talking. Okay, I won't read that one out loud. Yeah. How was everybody's holiday? I had mentioned in a video that, I test everything, and I am testing the thought and intention. And if and I'll tell you, being a parent is a huge challenge in itself. They will test all boundaries, and I'm sorry if you guys are hearing that. Facebook did an update, and I tried to turn the notification things off, and they're still going off. But so I test all things, and what I'm testing now is, even though there is what I consider a past or a history of things that have happened with individuals, I'm trying to look at them as, the divine that they are, and squashing any kind of prejudging them, even though maybe something did occur, and watching the results. And I'm telling you, so far, it's exceeded my expectations. My Christmas was beyond any expectation. It was so wonderful. Everyone was so loving. It was amazing. It was amazing. But then again, I repeat the tests, and he's okay, babe. He's trying to shoo the dog out, but as long as he doesn't start barking. So, and it was about spending time with family. And you guys know that sometimes when the holidays, there's some kind of family scuffles and things. We didn't have any of that. We had maybe 30 seconds of an oopsie happen, and a little bit a heated moment, but I'm telling you, within 30 seconds, bam, it was squashed and it was over. Hello, Ronnie, how are you? I've been binge watching on Beyond the Veil, watching all their different TFR members, checking them out. Pretty good, because I really like Cherie and Chris, and we talk a lot, and time will tell, and of course I will let you guys know first, yeah, as soon as something comes up and we decide to move forward. I will let you guys know first. But I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say anything quite yet. But so far, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with their platform and what they do and what they've got going on. Those are some really nice people. Let's see. The Kryptonian, mine haven't stopped talking to me. Does anybody have any opinions on, do you think that there is a difference between being affected and sharing what you've been affected with? And like Jane said so eloquently, if they're not interested, then she just drops it. But then Renee just had somebody wake up, so she has somebody to talk to about it. But what is the difference between trying to impose a religion onto your children, or sharing the awareness of what is going on within your life with your children? Do you see a difference in that? Or I see a difference in that. I see that one seems more like you don't have any choice. You're going to do it our way or the highway, where the others, just sharing what you're observing. But what's your guys' opinions on that? Oh, I'm so sorry, Ronnie. That's terrible. Oh, you weren't feeling good? I had the flu on Thanksgiving, and so we didn't celebrate because I didn't want to. Right when we got back from our trip, I got the flu. My husband actually got it while we were on the trip the last couple days. And then Thanksgiving fell right when we came back, and I did not want my granddaughter getting this flu. It knocked me on my butt for about 3 days. I was like, and I did not want her to catch it. But we made up for it at Christmas. So what are your guys' thoughts? And the other thing that I wanted to bring up is, if these kinds of things are being, rose up in our communities, to use our discernment. If they're putting out PayPal links and things like that, use your discernment with your wallet, because there is one thing that I have noticed about this community, that is going through this and observing and regaining sovereignty and awareness. Also comes generosity, kindness, patience. There's a lot of things that come along with this transition, these shifts that we're going through, and we're the most generous people. And I just don't want anybody, getting taken advantage of, because when it comes to children, us as human beings, whether awake, asleep, in the somatic, the psychic, or the pneumatic, that is our weak spot, is children, where you're going to do whatever we can in the best interest of a child. So, tell Mrs. Kryptonian I said hello. Hey, Double O, how are you? Yeah, I love watching Double O. I'll tell you, there's one thing about you. You are definitely interesting. Whether, whether you're taking a walk, or talking, venting or ranting, or, just being yourself and discussing things, you're interesting to watch. Very interesting to watch. I did move you. If anybody's had a chance, my homepage has been updated. So there's been some adjustments made there. The images and all that, and the channels and stuff so please check that out. The only one I haven't got on there yet is Dead GPK. I think I do, but I want to move him to a more, because I emptied out the top slot a little bit, because there's some channels that I wanted to make room for, that as soon as you hit my page, you don't have to arrow over and see them. So yeah. Yes. So what do you guys think? Do you see a difference there between somebody imposing their religious belief versus an observation or something that has shook you to the core that you share with your family? What's the difference? And does it seem like, you know, what we're going through, at least for me, since I'm testing everything, it seems more scientific. It's spiritual, which would have a little religion, but it's not, it's a spiritual without the dogma. I hope that makes sense. Like all of the religious dogma that I was brought up with had to leave to make room for the truth. So you used subbed 00? Oh, I love chat. I make all kinds of errors when I'm chatting too. Just let it go. Okay, Renee, I'm born and raised Catherine, turned Christian, turned spiritual, turned awakened, but I still believe in God and Jesus, yes. So I'm able to connect with my family in that essence. That's nice. And nobody has ever said not to believe in Christ. Jesus, you know, that's who I cried out to and got answers. And I truly, to my heart of hearts, believe he is the one that has been leading me, teaching me, and having the growth within. Now, that's how I got there. But that doesn't mean that my way is the only way, because of the things that have been revealed over time. It's I've learned so much about who everybody is and how wonderful we all are that, you know, I couldn't say that to somebody. If somebody walked up to me and is telling me every single thing that's going on with them through their experiences, and they believed in Muhammad, and they thought Muhammad was the one helping them, who would I be to say that they're in error and that they're going to go to hell because they didn't go my way? But I'm not trying to make this a religious conversation, because I'm really trying to remove the fear of us talking about what is going on with us. No, we shouldn't run around, you know, in grocery stores and, you know, and freak out other people and scare them, or, you know, threaten them, or do things like that. But we need to talk about these things, and that's part of, you know, with my whole motto is share what you know, so we can all listen and grow, because I think we all hold a piece to this puzzle, and it's important that we share with one another. And James, I don't think anyone should impose their beliefs on anyone. They have to find or wake up themselves, but it's okay to talk to anyone as long as they want to listen. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. If you say it's okay, I will leave a link to her Survivor series. Whose Survivor series? Hey Michelle, have you seen New Earth? Her name is Sylvie. Amazing stuff. No, I have not. Yeah, pop the link in there. Look up. I already did. Scroll back farther. Farther than where I just read? I think I got it. I think the time delay. Yeah, I think it is the time delay. So what's your thoughts on that, you guys? Do you think that if we're talking about that we're affected in some of these things going on with us, that we should have our children taken from us? What's your thoughts? Or do you think we're missing the whole big piece of what happened there? Because, we've been talking about this stuff for 15, 16, 17, 18, and we're going into 19. And I haven't, had anything, like that come up. This is the first time. And it was brought up to me by a friend because, the friend that I'm talking about has got some pretty good discernment, but I had already heard about it on another ME channel, and then a PayPal account was linked in asking for donations to help pay for an attorney. So it sounds like the story is making its rounds through all the different channels. So just, keep your ears pricked, and that way you're aware. And there's always two sides to every story. And I don't know what happened with this situation. I don't know if they're really just trying to snap down on them, but I haven't had anybody come over and threaten to take our foster care license away from us. And, I'm pretty public with a YouTube channel talking about some pretty fringe things. So I don't know. Mrs. Kryptonian, I don't think we have the whole story. Yeah, that's probably true. And with the, all of this shifting and everything that's going on, and these energies and these upgrades and, our heightened awareness, to be able to see what we're able to see, it's also scientific. I mean, looking at the anatomy changes, realizing how energy works, the physics of it, the quantum physics of it, looking into simulation theory, holographic theory, string theory, frequencies, which I'm working on, sound frequencies, which everything puts out and emits some kind of a sound or vibration, even thought. And that's what I'm working on testing now, is my thoughts. If I think somebody's going to come in to my home and steal from me, why would I get angry when they stole from me, when I already put the thought out before they even entered my home that they were going to steal from me? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. See what I mean? So, but if I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a lovely day, it's going to be hugs and kisses and just showing each other love, we're going to have a wonderful day. And then when that happens, it just completely changes the history. It squashes out anything that happened in the past, and it reunites the relationship. This is something Sylvie talks about, how we manifest thought forms. Tartaria was a real man. Are we going off on a tangent? But then again, you know what? I just go where the conversation goes, so it's all good. You haven't been posting many videos lately, 00. Missing you, buddy. You either, Mr. Kryptonian. I know why I haven't now, because my Well, I have been posting videos, but now I'm going to have an actual studio. So I will be live with you guys more. So let's knock fear and replace it with love. And still continue with what we're doing. We've got so many platforms, all of us sharing what's going on with one another. I heard something that was pretty interesting. The ear ringing, you know, and I know a lot of us suffer with the ear ringing, and it'll come and it'll go, and it's pretty intense at sometimes. Somebody, you know, I'm giving you somebody else's perspective here that I'm pondering, is that it's our higher selves giving us like the updates, giving us the information that for us to remember who and what we are. So, you know, if that makes it a little more tolerable, because I know that, you know, there's times I hear 3 tones at the same time and it could drive me crazy. But so, you know, if you're going through that stage till I don't have it as often, every once in a great while I'll have ears, my ears will ring, but not like it was for a long time. It was just constantly, you know, one or the other and up to 3 tones. But somebody said that, you know, it was our higher self or guardian angel or, you know, our helpers giving us updates and reminding us so we can bring the truth about ourselves, you know, back into our remembrance. And yours is 24/7, about 3 tones. Yeah, I went through that 00. So I can tell you from my own experience that it does eventually subside. So you know, it could get to you, you know, for a while, but then just realize if that's what's going on, because I'm fine. I mean, health-wise, no issues. It's just, it could be just part of the restoration of our DNA. Talking to our body, we can restore ourselves. The things that we're learning about ourselves and about this place, you know, it's profound. I mean, it's like, wow. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Silent day. Jay, I mean. Silent day says yelp. It seems to slow down a bit for you. Oh, it's good. And don't worry that when it slows down for you, because you know, what I found is that whenever I needed it, it came back and then it would go away. When I was fighting it and not understanding it, it seemed like it went on and on and on, you know. And then as time goes on, you see, okay, it's nothing that's hurting me. So then I stopped pushing it away. I actually chased it back. I just meditated and followed it back, and it was completely benign. So then, you know, I started just saying, okay, all right, we're being updated, we're being upgraded, you know. And that's around the time where my hands started to sparkle, and then I was like, okay, now this is gonna freak me out. And then Tony, you know, popped into my life, and you know, she's been going through that and doing a really good job of covering that. It's like we all have our piece of the puzzle to help one another get through this. It's amazing. It's having us come together and work together. LOL, nom nom nom. Oh, okay. You're eating but lurking around. That's fine. Lurk away. I had a crazy one a couple nights ago. Actually, last night. And I actually went somewhere. Are you talking about a dream? excuse me. You had an out of body astro jumping. I call it astro jumping. You know, in the dream state where we can fly and glide, and all those rules that we think apply here don't apply there. It's awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. Last night wasn't a dream, but I was asleep. I guess I'm not getting what you're saying then. So, okay, you were asleep and you're like your body was asleep, but you were not because you were off doing something else? I hate the drag, you know, the lag, and I don't want any dead air time. Excuse me. I got a tickle in my throat. It's just driving me crazy. I'm gonna get a drink. You don't remember your dreams, Tracy? Try asking. When you lay down to go to sleep, try to ask to remember your dreams. And then you may be pleasantly surprised. I can't wait until I do that lucid dreaming. Oh, you'll love it, Jane. You'll absolutely love it. A lot of times we are, well, I did that Dreamworker series. We are working in our sleep. We just don't remember it when we wake up. But you'll get to a point where you're going to start remembering bits and pieces of it. And, you know, it's pretty amazing. And when I become aware that I'm asleep, this is, you know, like, I know I assume that everybody's watched all my videos. There's no possible way because I get new subscribers all the time. My go-to place is a light switch. If I flick the switch and the light doesn't come on, I'm out tromping around. So try and get a go-to place, Jane, and, you know, try to turn on a switch or something that, you know, will resonate with you. Even if it's like looking at your clock and it's doing something wonky, or, you know, you may be out walking around. You just don't realize it. And then you'll realize it and then start bending those rules. Odd nightmares. Yeah. Well, sometimes there's, we've got to go through the dark before we can get into the light. And that's part of us overcoming fear, Tracy. So, you know, when you see the gray aliens or the shadow people or any of those kind of things, it's all about building up trust. Sleep paralysis is another one that people will get scared. And that is because you're about to leave your body, leave your avatar, and go on a journey, but you're hesitating. You're not quite sure. So what you will experience is like sleep paralysis. You'll be in your body, but you'll be aware. It's like being under anesthetic and you're having surgery, but you're fully conscious. So once you get over that, then you're off to the races. So it's you know, we've always got to learn how to crawl before we walk, and then we fly. Oh, good. What's it called, Jane? What's the book called? Well, you can't really give it a recommendation yet since you haven't read it. Let me know how it works for you after you read it. Okay. Yeah, I'll be on for about I like to keep them at about, 45 minutes to an hour. But I just wanted to raise awareness that just because we're affected doesn't mean that we have a mental illness. They can put a mental illness. I was looking into that. And they could pretty much diagnose you with a mental illness for anything. I'm telling you, just about every single thing has some kind of a mental illness label. So, just keep that for food for thought. And just like I was saying with the laws, there's so many laws on the books that should have been scrubbed a long time ago. But if they really wanted to come after you, they have all these laws on the books. So, if you feel you're going to be a target, you will be a target. But if you realize that there's nothing here that can hurt you, and you raise above that and start taking thought into captivity and start to project out of you, the world around you will reflect what's going on inside. So I always say, get your house in order. Once you've got your house in order, and that's not being narcissistic. That means you can't help anybody else, or even give any kind of testimony, really. You can give your testimony, but you can't give advice or that I've been there before until you get your own house in order first, because then the world around you will start reflecting that. Now, people are sovereign, so they can buffer. We can buffer one another. We surely can. But then again, just like I said with this that I'm testing out now, if I think that person's going to come into my home and steal from me, and then they come in and they steal from me, it's a self-fulfilling process or prophecy, because I already thought it. I already put that negative energy into motion. So when it happened, how can I be upset about something that I projected out from myself? Oh, I also want to say, I'm wearing the bracelets that Liera made for me and the crystal necklace. Thank you, Liera. I love them. So I was giving her a shout out. I haven't talked to her for a while. Okay, we got somebody new. Coz. Let's see. Coz Maskrummer. You guys and your names. I've experienced the separation of the body and the soul using binary beats. I felt like the sensation of floating up and down at the same time, and I was getting startled and slammed back into my body. It was awesome. Nice share. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, we do not have to be asleep to have these things go on with us. We can go into meditation. There's some people that can be put into meditation very quickly and go straight out and go on a journey. They call it remote viewing. And so they're wide awake, but in like a trance-like state, and then they gather the information and then relay it. So these are, abilities that are coming back into our remembrance. So of course we're going to share, and we're going to continue to share without fear, because we're not crazy. It makes me think like anybody who's not experiencing this or choosing not to, they're crazy. But it is not an easy walk, and so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Depending on how much you're cleaving to certain things, it can, we make it more difficult on ourselves, and by letting go of things that we thought we knew and that we had down pat, and allowing for the truth to rush in, we can really get through the process much more quickly than people that are thick like me, who, I cleaved to a lot of things and had a hard time letting go. Ronnie G. Oh, I had that lately. By trying to sleep, I felt leaving my body. It freaked me out, and I fell back into my body. It was an awesome feeling. Yes. Yeah. And see, that's part of getting ready to go on a journey. there's several different ways where people can have their different experiences. And I'm not going to say just because I didn't have that very same experience that that your experience isn't valid, because everybody is having things on their narrow path that are unique for them. But always remember, we're never given more than we can handle. So, you know, and we're never given anything we can't overcome. So keep that in mind. So, because you're a warrior, but not the warrior that goes out, you know, sword fighting and beating down people. You're a warrior as in a hero, as you're walking through your path, your journey that you've set out for yourself. The goals that you set out to reach, you will meet. And all you have to do if you need help is ask. We have help. We just have to ask for it. I do believe there's a non-interference clause. If we don't ask, we don't get help. But if we ask and our heart is in the right place, we get the help that we ask for. Yes, fear is the lie of the construct to oppress the mind. Absolutely. I agree with that. Free will. That's right. We also have free will. We have freedom of choice. And just like we were talking about, I posted one on a theory, the emergence theory. Now, I'm putting up a bunch of different theories. Now, I'm not married to any of them, but I do enjoy looking into them and looking at them. And this one is the pixelated. But, you know, one of the things that has come across in my awareness is every time, and this was in a dream, and it kind of, when I woke up, I was a little startled because I was like, oh my gosh, it goes on forever. But I was in this like huge maze, and I was like, every time I made a choice, okay, you know, there would be two options. I make a choice. I made this choice, right? Well, everything over here just collapsed down into zero. So now I hear I'm a one. But then two more choices came up. And then when I chose this one, then all of those zeroed out and collapsed down into nothing. And then I veered off. So it has to do with, you know, each moment, each choice that we make, each decision, we're collapsing one paradigm as we are walking down another. But we can always change our perspective by the choices that we're making. So even though you've made X, Y, and Z as a choice, you can always veer back over to stay in balance. It's just, it shook me awake when I was shown that. Maybe that's, you know, the same kind of feeling of being slammed back into your body, because I was startled awake, like, bam, you know, and I was like, whoa, what was I looking at? But that's what it looked like, and it was infinite, but not in a scary way. It was like nothing can hurt us, but we're here and we're making choices with our free will, and each choice we make will send us in a certain direction and also give us more options as we go. I often call it the game of life. We're here to have experiences. We're here to expand and grow. And it seems like people, you know, like myself, I've been in a couple of pretty serious car accidents. And one of them, you know, I did a video called NDE. If you're new, you might want to check it out. And I left my body and I was someplace else. And I was given the choice on whether or not I wanted to come back. But then there was these things that were shown to me, you know, and it was in such quick succession. It was amazing. But my heart went out, and as soon as my heart attached to something that was going on there, bam, I was back in my body. And oh my gosh, there was no pain there, no nothing. But what that told me is that after here, there was somewhere else that I was at. It was like, this is not it. But I think We come here because this is where we can learn the most about ourselves, where we can grow the most, where we can create, where we're learning our abilities, our God-given gifts, opening up the third eye, the chakra system, Holy Spirit baptism. Everybody has different names for it, but it's like the same thing happens to the person when this awakening process happens. And it doesn't have to be some big, huge thing. It could be a mild, slow, gradual awakening. That's one thing I have learned, is from listening to several people talk about what they're going through, what they've learned, what they've experienced, that nobody has a patent on it. It's so unique and so individualized, and so are each of us. And we're all, we have the breath of life in us, which is from God, gives us the breath of life. And therefore, when we're given all of these abilities, whether we're aware of them or not, we're still doing them. So people that are asleep are still creating and buffering and doing all of these things. They're just not aware of it yet. But we're going to come to a time where everybody's going to be aware and take responsibility and not want to hurt one another. And that's, what the Bible would call heaven on earth. Let me see what you guys have said here. I've also had a dream back in 2013 where I went through a portal spinning in space, and I felt as if I entered this body and seen the world with fresh eyes. Since then, what are your thoughts on walk-in souls? Now, I've heard a bit about walk-ins where maybe the person was suffering too much and they were just done, and then a walk-in will come in and take over. So in my mind, nothing's off the table, because we don't know. We just don't know. Do you still feel like it's you? Or do you feel like you're a completely different person? That would be my question to you. The only people that I think that would know for sure that they're a walk-in would be a walk-in. Somebody who knows that they had a walk-in come in. Okay, I think you witnessed the so-called collapse of the wave function possibilities by the observer's choice in terms, simply the game of life, and what a great experience. It's possible, because normally I see these things in meditation or in my dreams. I'll go to a place that I call it a place that's no place, at a time that's no time, and then I'll see things, and then I get to glean from it and then bring some things back with me. And you're talking about the maze, the choice maze that I just saw. That was like within the past month. And what synchronized it, let everything be established by two witnesses, right? If I want to go by the Bible. Double O did a video and he was talking about a maze. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, I just had that dream about a maze, and then there he is talking about a maze. So, there's something to this. And then here you are mentioning that. So, interesting. Yeah, you were an empty shell since I died in 2005 until 2013. Okay, all right. So you are very well aware that you're a walk-in. Okay. Do you know what your name used to be, or is that something that kind of gets wiped when you come in? when because I'm fascinated by it. We should definitely talk sometime. Because if you're a walk-in and you know you're a walk-in, you may be aware that you had a different name, maybe even a different, maybe you were a male and you walked into a female body. I mean, there's infinite possibilities there. And you walked in, obviously to bring light and awareness, and to help people to raise up to their full potential, because that's what it seems like is going on, is a huge waves of awakening for people to recognize their God-given abilities that we're already doing, but become responsible with them and not reckless, and to use them to the benefit of all mankind and not selfishly. And when we all come into, and it's not hive mind thinking, because part of the beauty of this place is our individuality. If we were all exactly alike, it would be very boring. So that's just food for thought. So people say get rid of your ego and lose yourself. I don't think that we have spare parts. I think we have pieces and parts that have been shut off, that are being turned back on. But I think everything in balance has a purpose. We don't have any extra parts. You feel more like an old soul yourself, okay? I can't believe it's been an hour already, you guys. Okay, well, hopefully, we put to bed the little fear stream that is going on. Feel free to share this with, any platform that may be coming across a little bit of this little fear bug that's going around. Because really, there has to be more going on than just that, or people with strict religious upbringings would be taken from their home. The science mom or science dad experimenting in the garage, kids would be taken from their home. There's more to the story, so just because we're observing and we're aware of things changing, would not have children removed from our home. So hopefully we nip that in the butt, and let's keep on growing. Let's keep on sharing and loving and being kind and patient with one another. I love you all so much, and thank you for coming to my live stream. I haven't been live in so long. As soon as my studio's done, I'll be live more often, and I'm going to keep up with the tickets. That's why I pretty much chilled out on the live streaming, because on the raffle, going back through and getting everybody's names was, oh my gosh. But now, if you get a show as a subscriber and making comments, you get raffle tickets for those who do not know or that are new. And every quarter I'm going to do a drawing. Prizes will vary, and we just did one. It was a lot of fun. And you guys help support the channel, so why not make it fun and a two-way street by the channel helping, giving back the way that, right now we're still using the monetary value system, so that's a way of giving back to the community and a way of gratitude and thank you, for helping me get going and growing. And I appreciate everyone, and I do see the divine in every single person, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So always remember to share what you know and listen so we can grow. And Any last thoughts? No previous memories, just the entry of the body's the memory. Oh, and its body's memories. Oh, okay, I'm still unsure if it was a dream or reality. But I walked in 2013 and then my life changed and it's like I'm different. I think a lot of people are changing dramatically because of what is going on with all of us. There's just so much going on. So much of our DNA is being activated. Our memories are coming back to who and what we are and how we affect and impact each other. And that is one of the biggest parts, is to remove the fear and to take responsibility for even our thoughts. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole huge transformation. And kudos to you for everything that you've been through since 2013 to be a whole different person today. Wow. All right. And I will see you guys soon.